Okay, YJ Tub, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, Jeeps Unlimited. Take a look at our YouTube. We've been selling tubs and frames for 18 years, and excellent feedback, partly because of the way we list them, the way we sell them, the way we deliver them, yada, yada, yada. I want to illustrate one thing with this one. This is not sold yet. I've had this Jeep, this was a full Jeep last week, for a few months, and clearly you can see the damage in it, but you can also see I worked with a hammer and a chisel to try to figure out what that Bondo was hiding. We knew it was hiding something. We assumed the worst, and so we priced it initially as a dismantle, pre-dismantle. We always list our pre-dismantles with a little lower pricing because you're basically buying something that you don't know 100% about, although we do our due diligence and try to figure out, you know, if there's something that may be hidden or we see something that might be possible, disclose that up ahead of time, and we adjust the price according to that. And the reason I want to tell you that is because when I get a full Jeep and I give you a price, that price is going to be the best price you're going to get on it. Once they come apart, as this one is, we're going to evaluate them. Sometimes it could be worse. If it is worse and you've already put a deposit down on it, we have a couple options at that point. We give you the option, we'll lower the price based on what we all of a sudden found out. We put you in a different tub of what we originally thought if we have one available. Otherwise, we go into a wait list, or we cancel the deposit and refund your money. We do not just keep money out there. It's just not what we do. Ultimately, you want a tub or a frame, and we want to sell you a tub or a frame or whatever other part. So, and I say that because this is probably going to be the best example of a missed opportunity from a few of the customers out there that I had priced this at a lot cheaper. Like I priced this at like a C-, which is usually like $1,000. And our grade A's, just to give you an idea, on YJs right now are $35,000 to $4,000. So any kind of savings is usually a fairly good one. This one's still going to be discounted because clearly there is damage in it. But this tub is actually phenomenally clean minus this corner. And whoever fixed it initially, you can see the Bondo, it's filled all the way up here. But a lot of that is because they faded it in, and they thickened up here to kind of fade in the back. And it was super thick. I mean, you can see the chunks of this stuff. So somebody hit the corner. I wasn't sure when we got this off if it was going to be hiding rust holes or what. And it wasn't hiding rust, it was hiding damage, which I kind of figured. But this is a nice thing because you can either do what they did and clean it up and lather the thing back up, although this will happen again. Bondo does, especially thick Bondo, specifically on Wranglers that don't have the best, softest suspension to begin with. It will eventually crack like it did, but it'll get you a couple years. Ideally, I would say replace the corner, and I might even have a corner. We don't cut our tubs normally, but I might have something out here for you. It's not part of the sale, but it's something we can work out if it's something you're interested in. Now that I've seen this tub and I've seen how clean the rest of this tub is, it's going to get priced a little bit higher. Not a lot, but a little bit. So that's I put that out there. So in case that, you know, you see this video, which happens a lot, a year down the road and it's well and gone, you call me and I say, you know what, I got 2 in the yard, they haven't come apart, I'll get you initial videos and photos. I'll price it at yada, yada, yada. You know, if you're looking for one, take it up on that because it's a guarantee. I mean, if it's worse, you're going to get your money back or something else, or we're going to lower the price more. If it's better, it locks you in. We're not going to call you and say, hey, this tub was better than we thought. You know, that in theory would have been the case on this one. We would have locked it in at that price, and I would have got it down and been like, shoot, man, I lost. Because these Wranglers aren't cheap. I mean, we buy these things unwrecked. We really need to get good tubs and frames out of them in order to make any kind of profit on these things. So, but don't think you're getting, you know, a bad deal on the tub either. I mean, this is going to be discounted significantly for this damage in the rear because there will be required, and this is something I would call major body work. Minor body work are dings, folds, creases on the lower rockers, dings in the rear. This would have been, considering this got a little corner over here, that would have been minor there, okay? That would have still been a B. If that was all that was issued, that'd been like a B, B+, and it is still being that 3,000 range. Now we're gonna be down in the 2,000 range on this guy. So, and don't, I mean, again, this is, you're looking for a tub and you're facing rust or you're facing significant floor damage or some other kind of significant body damage, this is a good tub for the price it'll be at. So what we have listed on the site is the price it's going to be. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you let me know. That's my little tidbit about what we do and why we do it and how we price things, so for future things. But I do want to show you this tub overall so you can see it as if you were here in person, as I do on all my tub videos. You waiting for me?
Yeah.
Your tailgate's off? Work on that.
I can get that green.
Work on that tailgate, yeah. So windshield frame area, perfect. No rust. That area loves to rust out on them. Floors, perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Both passenger and driver floor. And the paint's still on it, which is incredible. Normally the paints are off on these, and they just have the bare metal underneath. So it did have carpet in it. It did have a hardtop and full doors. That helps a lot with preserving the floors on these. Roll bar pads, excellent shape. All the bolts came out. Nothing broke on those. Both sides, excellent shape. That's something to be, very thoughtful of. Those are, if you're looking at a Wrangler, you obviously can't see underneath those pads. Those will rust all the time, specifically in the coastal areas, East Coast, Midwest. You can look up under them like here. Don't worry about the glue that's under there. That's just from the factory. At these seams down here, this is where they love to, you'll see them build up rust there. Not a big deal if it's a little bit, but if you start seeing rust specifically right there, you can assure that you're gonna have a hole there or possibly floor replacement. Up through here, this is another area. You can kind of see a little bit of surface through here, but all the pinch welds are in really good shape on these inner fender wells. And really just give you the extent of the damage on this guy. All the metal in here is intact. So if you got the gift of body work, this might be something you can just clean up and don't even need to replace. But it definitely has a couple good dimples where they pulled it at one time and straightened it out. The best whoever worked on this could have done. And same thing back here. There is a little hole. This is the only spot I've seen on this whole tub that had starting to be a little hole right here, which is a pretty common area on YJs and same with CJs. You can kind of see the raised here. So that's about the size of maybe 50-cent piece. And you can kind of see the discoloration starting here, and then right here is where it's kind of blown. So if you're going to be putting a new corner on it, it's no big deal. Otherwise, put a patch panel there, re-weld it, fiberglass over it, if that's what you're going to do, or Bondo it, I mean. Okay, floors back here, nice straight. They're not all rippled. That's a big deal if they've been overloaded. Lots of weight in the back. They'll start getting a little wavy. Something to look for as well when you're looking at them. Back well, these areas love to break. These are a pain in the ass to pull. Those bolts there, those all came out. We put them back in there. We do sell these bolts, so we'll be putting those in our bolt bins, but I didn't want the guys to lose them. That's where you can see a little bit of the damage starting to come up there. But it's, I thought it was going to be really, really bad. It just I was awesome because I've been so low on tubs. I'm so excited to have another, low B, high C tub in the shop. I mean, I literally been out of tubs for 6 months. I got one more coming in that's hoping it's going to be a grade A next week. And then, I don't know. I mean, YJ's have all of a sudden hit what a CJ is. And it used to be we would use YJ's to convert to the CJ7 tubs. And you can still do that because they are still slightly easier to get, but they're getting just as hard to get tubs on these as an old CJ7 tub. TJ tubs are actually selling like hotcakes too. So all Wranglers in general, specifically when the JK came out, these Jeeps really became the nostalgia of the Jeep world, and people are building these things like crazy. So one thing you get with us that's different, well, two things actually. If I'm not heading to your area anytime in the next few months, we crate these. They have to be crated. There is some crate costs with that, but trust me, you'll want them crated. If you don't get them crated and you have something shipped, you'll see why I told you to crate them. It's a policy of ours. We do it no matter what. And there is a fee attached to that. And then you also have the freight costs. So one of the advantages, if you can catch me on one of my loads, it's my trailer over here. And it's got plenty of deck space. We just hauled the week before Christmas 2022, and I've done them, 2 or 3 times a year for the last 18 years when I've had a good trailer and truck, is we do our own hauls. And that's available coming up again. I head to Texas this week, New Mexico, Oklahoma. So if you see this in the next few days, it's, let's see, January 20th, I think, somewhere around there, of 2023. let me know. I can get it on that load. I got a tub going down. I got a couple tubs going down on that one. And then after that, middle of February, I will be heading back to the Midwest and most of the East Coast. I don't think I'm going to get all the way up to Maine unless I get enough orders. It's just too costly with fuel right now. Those trips are great because I charge you a flat rate fee. That fee, it covers the entire load. So if you get a tub, a frame, fenders, yada, 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 I don't charge you any more. So whatever that flat rate fee is, and that's based mainly on fuel. We don't make any money. It's usually a break even. We add them all up. And this last time we went, it was around $6,000 what we collected in delivery fees. It was split up about $500 a piece per customer. And that literally broke even. It was $6,200 for fuel, hotels, and maintenance on the truck, which we had a few issues with. So, and that's what we're looking to do. Somewhere around that. Fuel's gone up a little bit, so we'll adjust it slightly, but really it gives you an opportunity to get a smoking deal on freight and get a tub or whatever else you need delivered right to your door. You don't have to deal with a freight company. You don't have to deal with possible damages, insurance, all that stuff. So definitely take advantage of that. And he broke the airline. Good job. Anyway, this video is a little bit longer because I really wanted to illustrate, like I said in the beginning, if you do happen to see, and if you're, you know, I get it. People don't know me from Sam down the road, but there's Google, there's Yelp, there's Facebook, there's plenty of things out there that will, that I think speaks volumes for who we are and what we represent. You go to our website, you can see our family. We're a small Jeep family, but a big yard, small business with big hearts. 7 acres out here, rust free. So, and on top of that, I do have, they're over there. Those are TJ frames. Actually, I'm pretty low on YJ frames as is. But oh, excuse me. This cold weather's messing my asthma up. One more thing, I'm going to get it in the air. Show you the bottom, which is another crucial part of buying a frame or a tub. You're out there looking at other options, which there are not a lot of them, but there's a few people out there that have kind of caught on to what we do. Make them work for it. I bust my ass to do these things. And not saying everybody needs to. You got to work smarter, not harder. But unfortunately, when it comes to tubs and frames, this is really the only way to do it. So flip it over, have them do whatever you want to do. Just, you know, when we flip them, it does cause damage on the tops. We try not to do that, but they got a forklift, get it in the air. You need to look at these areas, torque pockets. Okay, TJs are just as important. Actually, JK, we all have them. CJs even have them. But YJs and CJs specifically, the early ones, these are really hard to replace. They make them a little easier on the TJs. They're still hard to do. And if you replace floors, you're likely going to not. Floors don't come with torque pockets. So that's something, everybody thinks they can just throw a floor in them. And if your subframe, sub supports are good, you're okay. But if they're not good, you might as well buy a whole floor out of something because they're really hard. You can see now, what are these torque pockets? These are where your frame bolts to the tub. So clearly they're, if not the most important, they're very important. Say, okay, there are 10 of, let's see, there are 10 of them on these, right? So you got 2 on the very rear here. And it's lighting sucks, so I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, that bolt broke off. It's common. That one floats, so it's pretty easy to replace. You can get in there real easy. Okay, then you got your next 2. So that gives you 4. And you got 3 down your sides. 1, clean thread. I know we broke another one right there. That one's easy. That's the easiest one to get to. You can get your hand up in there. So not a real hard job to get the bolts out. But if you get rust in those, which these have absolutely no rust, there's a little bit of dirt on them, but there's nothing up there as far as rust goes. This thing was well oiled and greasy. It was very well preserved. I love grease on these things because it preserves them. You can see the bare metal. I got a lot of the grease off. I didn't get it all off. That's an e-brake holder there. A few other things. Okay. Nice tunnel up through there, all nice and clean. Clean threads. Clean thread. That one's good. So 2 broken bolts you'll have to deal with. Again, we adjust price. You know, that takes an hour or so. We knock a little bit off for that kind of stuff. So, but most importantly, you see exactly what you're up against and what you're going to be working on when you get a tub. You can use this tub as is. if that's what you want to do. I mean, it will bolt onto a frame as is. You'll have to do 2 bolts, obviously, but other than that, that's it, okay? If you don't see the bottom of a tub in this much depth and detail, you're asking for it. You're asking to buy something you probably already have. So I'm not lecturing you. I'm just telling you what my experience is. Okay, 303-666-9020. I know these aren't the most glamorous videos from what most people are watching out there, but I do feel like they're helpful, specifically if you're looking to buy this tub or you're looking at an idea on what you can expect out there to find. I would say at this point, because of the rarity of these YJ tubs, this would be a B tub, okay? I was rating something like this 5 years ago, C's. That kind of damage would have given it a C easily, because I had a lot of tubs and I had the ability to grade them a little differently. But the scarcity of these is so much right now, and it's not like they're making them anymore, so it's not going to get any better. And as that happens, it's just like CJ7s. You know, I list tubs sometimes on those that I'm like, I don't know. And a guy on the East Coast gets it. For example, I delivered one in Long Island, New York on this last trip, and you know, my low grades are like their A grades out there. So, and that's something to consider. Weird, leaking off. Something to consider as well, because you may not need to spend $4,000 on a tub. You might be totally fine with spending, you know, like I said, one of our lower grades might be one of your A grades. So I know there's a lot of stuff out there that's not very good and people misrepresent things, but I don't think there's any misrepresenting here. And if this tub sells, when this tub sells, you know, contact me, get on a list. I strongly suggest a deposit. We do them for as long as you want. If I can't come up with it within 30 days, it's refundable. But it is something I hold you on the hook for. If you change your mind, you need to let me know. I'm out there hunting, pounding on doors, trying to find these things. And I'm not doing them auction because the auctions are full of shit. Excuse my language, but they are the biggest liars right now that I've ever had to deal with. Specifically IAA. Actually, IAA is not too bad, but Copart they're just thieves. You're gonna get something that, you know, I'll tell you what they're doing right now. They're bringing East Coast, Midwest Jeeps into non-rusty areas, Arizona, California. They're importing those Jeeps from the East Coast, and they do that because they know in California, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, those kind of states, they don't know what to look for. They're not expecting rust. And so they go in and buy those things, and I can't tell you how many people call me every day and say, hey, I got this Jeep, bought it out of Nevada, thought it was going to be great, and it's a rust bucket. And then we pull up the VIN. Sure enough, it was in New Hampshire. So guys on the East Coast know that kind of stuff. They see that kind of stuff, and that's why they don't shop in the East Coast, Midwest. So anyway, this is a huge rant. I appreciate everything, guys. Thank you so much for all the business support over the years. My family really appreciates it. We went through a little bit of a slow spurt the last few months, but it is just like usual. We got into our project season and starting to bang it out again. We are, give you a kind of an idea if you haven't seen our yard or know it there. Those are some really nice TJ frames. If you know anybody needs some grade A TJ frames, I got 2 LJ tubs right now, 04 to 06. If you don't know what those are, look them up. They're a collector's item already, and they're only getting more expensive. I actually have one personally. There's the frame from this one. That should come out real clean when we get it pulled. I'm not going to do it right away because we have a few of those pulled right now. That's our yard. Cool. We got 4 more Jeeps coming in this week. We do everything: Cherokees, Comanches, Grand Cherokees. Heck, there's a Patriot out there, although I don't give any of those. So this is what we do. We love is our Wranglers and Cherokee XJs and Grand Cherokees and, you know, you name it. So cool. And then our diesels, which that's a cool project right there. 92 Ford OBS square body. It's got a Cummins in it. Almost done with that one. We got the Cummins is mounted, the NV4500 is mounted, so that's going to be a sweet ride here in hopefully two months maybe, and we'll have that one done. So we got to do some cool projects. And then we brought a whole bunch of parts back from a yard we're working with right now. Got a really nice selection of windshield frames. These are almost all TJs. I only have a couple YJs left. Those, of course, are like tubs. They sell quickly. I do have a few nice fender sets left. I don't have many, maybe 2 sets, so 4 total, one on each side. And we got a good couple engines right now, and I think that's it. I mean, a lot of our parts, I would say we're about 70% listed on our website. So if you see this up and need something else and don't see it listed on the website, give me a call. I answer the phone almost 24/7, as most small businesses do. All right. Thanks a lot.